Well, we are back. We certainly see enough of the monster truck Bigfoot on this program, but this is a nice piece out of New York called Longfoot, making its way down the midway here at the State Fairgrounds. Gordon Chessie now to the line. In just a moment, he'll be competing. And earlier, Army took a look at one of the things that these vehicles do before they go racing.
Gary, before they go racing, they got to take just a second to do something else. The something else they got to do is go through a safety inspection. Like any form of motorsport, safety is a major concern. We're going to show you some of the things they look for. Since it's a chain drive, they got to have a shield around the chain. This particular shield here is a TCI transmission shield in case the transmission blows up. To restrain the blower, you got these blower straps. You also have special chains to pull the throttle linkage back in case you get an over-rev situation. And then we're going to work our way to the front. Of course, you got your seat belt and shoulder harnesses, and then make sure that the helmet meets certain specifications. So it's not just a case of building something and going racing. You got to meet the rules, too. Back to you, Gary.
Then, of course, we see the driver ensconced in that protective roll cage in all these vehicles as Durbin takes on Chessie. This is Charles Durbin in the axle breaker in the far lane.
That vehicle may be named the axle breaker, but the axle braking actually took place in the other lane, Gary.
Yeah, it'll take just a second to remove Gordon Chessie. And while we have a moment, we can tell you the four-wheel jamborees are part of the Special Events Performance Series, featuring a weekend of four-wheel fun. Visit the manufacturer's Midway and check out the Show and Shine competition. Contact the Special Events Promotion Company to find out when a jamboree will be coming to your area. Coming up next is Mike Behrman. This man has been dominant on the NMRO circuit over the past couple of seasons. He's the 93 and 94 cut tire champion.
Well, you see the beautiful baby blue 27 roadster roll out. You know one thing for sure, the Behrman boys are back in town.
We just saw his brother Steve win the panel tire division here on Trucks and Tractor Power. And there's a look at Gary Reddick, a touch of madness.
Chemical reaction and a touch of madness. Awesome name. I like it.
But look at the time to beat. Oh, he almost high-sided that, but that was the sound of horsepower.
Man.
But Mike Behrman at 2.640.
I wonder if they keep their eyes open for the whole run.
All right, that's the quick for the day at 2.640 as we take a look at the time for Gary Reddick. But, man, look at this replay coming right at you. Watch him high-side this thing.
He gets it on a wall and hangs a throttle in it. Look at here.
There's the benchmark, 2.640, and Mike is with Army.
Well, we got good news and bad news. The bad news, everybody's complaining about the track. The good news, didn't make a bit of difference to you. You're the new leader with a 264. How'd you do it?
I don't know. Car went nice and straight, and the Audi's horsepower pulled us through.
You looked like you got up on the curb. That had to help you a little bit, or on the berm.
I didn't really even feel it. Felt like I was going nice and straight.
Well, wait till he sees the video replay. Up to the line now, Jerry Schofield over in the far lane, and a guy who's taken us on some wild rides, Garland Walls in the Gambler.
You know, Garland's hooked up with the X1R people to do research and development for a new lubricant, and he is really making a lot of horsepower. But like you say, he really can make some wild runs for you. 32 Ford Coupe. He got on that side too, Gary.
A little passive run for him. Good one, though, at 2.879, but not nearly fast enough to move the top five on the leaderboard.
I wonder why they're getting on that wall.
Yeah, speaking of the leaderboard, Mike Behrman once again at 2.640, leading Dan Brown, Tom Means, Gary Mink, and Tony Farrell. Right now, let's go back trackside and talk to Garland Walls.
Garland, a 2.879. Not a bad number considering where you are in this field.
Nah, not too bad, I guess. There's a bunch of cars here and a bunch of good cars.
Let me ask you a question. You're a long way from home. If you could go back up there right now, would you do anything different that you did on that run?
Yeah, I'd probably loosen the clutch up a little bit more where it wouldn't bite so hard off the line.
Speaking of wild rides, we're going to have a guy that takes us on wild rides every now and then. Tom Marsh in the Intruder, a purple and green roadster. And he'll be taking on Danny Driscoll in Hot Flash. There's a look at Tom Marsh. And we pan over to Hot Flash and Danny Driscoll.
Advantage has got to be to Marsh here just by the fact of the weight that he is not carrying. Driscoll, you know, he comes to run the Jamboree circuit, runs real good in his class. He's a class racer. But today, he definitely stepped up and run with the big boys. Runs a full-size Chevrolet body. But right now, when that light goes green, watch what happens. We got problems there. He's in trouble. He's going over.
The throttle hung up. He's upside down. Rolls the intruder all the way over. We're looking for Tom Marsh. There is movement in the cockpit. He appears to be okay, but it appeared the throttle did hang on him.
The roll cage did not collapse around him. Boy, that says a lot for whoever built that car.
Well, you can see why they have roll cages. He is climbing out right now. Waves that he's okay, clearing up the cobwebs, but it appeared right here the throttle hung up.
Yeah, he goes over the infield track, kind of high sides. It knows he's in trouble, looking for a place to land. Burps the throttle. Now gravity takes over and inertia.
Once again, as he rolls it all the way over, the cage holds. He is okay, and he is down there now in the pit area with Army Armstrong.
Tom, go ahead and take your helmet off, but I'll tell you right now, you did the only thing you can do. We were standing down at the top end when you came through. Did the throttle stick on you? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I come out and the throttle stuck a little bit, but it wasn't near as bad as it should have been. I got back in it to try to bring it around, and from that time on, I was just fighting it. And I was just trying to get in an open area and trying to get it under control, and I just run out of room. And
it looked to me like you were trying to actually come up on the throttle and spin the car around to make it stop. And then we had one tire that just grew tremendously, and that's what turned you over.
Yeah, I think that tire popped off is what finally made it catch. I just ran out of room. It just happened too quick, you know.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Get over here and talk to the fire department guys and the EMTs. They want to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks, Army.
It's amazing how clear the mind can be when you're going out of control.
Let me ask you a question. The throttle stuck a little bit. Is that like being a little pregnant?
I don't know. You'll have to ask Tom. Back at the Indiana State Fairgrounds, this is the aftermath of the altercation involving Tom Marsh. Once again, Tom is okay. On now to some highlights from Class 5 competition. Matt Hospenthal and No Surrender, the brother of the 94 NMR paddle tire champion Paul. That's a 2.93 against Gene Peak and Dirty Deeds.
These guys are really cranking up on the supercharger. You can hear them whining on the other end of the track.
Former Cut Tire champion Ron Pence does not gain admission to the 2-second club in Tater.
But also in earlier action, the underslung chassis out of the Bluegrass State, Jeff Ballard, not able to get the number he was looking for. Couldn't get on top of the mud. He got there first, but didn't get there quick enough. Another fellow didn't get the number he was looking for. Relied on the Ford horsepower out of Daytona Beach, Florida. Gary Olstein did a little sprint car action on the other end. Watch the front end of the chassis. He powers it out of the other end. But the number just wasn't there, Gary.
Well, Army, we are getting ready now for our final pair. It will be Mark Green, the Mud Buster, against Hyperactive. There is Mike Yosha in Hyperactive.
It's hard to believe they're not in the pit right now. This is just a staging area. It tells you how much water there is around this place today.
The Hyperactive car from right here in the Indianapolis area, so Yosha did not have to travel far from home to take on the Mud Buster of Mark Green, our final pair in the competition, shooting after Mike Behrman 2.640. That is the time to beat. That's the benchmark.
Both drivers working that starting line, trying to push about. If you can just get a 6-inch push on it, it'll help you. That's why the drivers run up to the starting line and then roll forward and roll back. Try to gain that 6-inch advantage. We got a good side-by-side race. I don't think the numbers are going to be there, but that was a good race, Gary.
2.944 for Mark Green. You're right. It was a good side-by-side competition. Numbers not there to move him up in the point standings at 3.054. And that means that Mike Behrman hangs on to win it over Dan Brown, Tom Meeks, Gary Mink, and Tony Farrell. Here's your champion.
Well, Gary, this is the guy that makes the horsepower. This is the guy that drives the horsepower to win this thing today. And really, it looked to me like you had a little bit more foresight to these other guys. You were the first one to get up on the left side of the track. After you did it, a lot of other people did it, but couldn't match your number. Congratulations to you.
Thanks. I didn't really try to get up on this side. It's just where the car went.
Well, it seemed to really mile an hour, and after you did it, everybody in the world started following you on it. So, hey, big win. You've had some bad luck here before, but you turned it around. Congratulations for taking the Jamboree.
All right, thanks a lot.
Congratulations to Mike Behrman. For Army Armstrong, I'm Gary Lee. We'll see you next week on Trucks and Tractor Power. Now here's news of an exciting video release from Diamond P Sports.